request Shri Dharmendra Pradhan, Union Minister of Education, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India, to deliver the convocation address. Please, sir.
My colleague in Union Cabinet, the popular leader of Tamil Nadu, Mr. L. Murugan, Union Minister of States, Fisheries and Information and Broadcasting Department, Chancellor of Shastra University, Professor Sethuramanji, Vice Chancellor of University, Dr. S. Vaidya Subramaniamji, Registrar of this University, Dr. R. Chandramouli, Dean Planning and Development, Dr. S. Swaminathanji, distinguished guests receiving honorary doctorates, Professor Krishna Swami Aladiji and Sri Chamu Krishna Shastriji, faculty members, staffs, parents and my dear students, all friends from media, Vanakkam. Friends, convocation is a landmark event in life of a student. It marks end of one phase and beginning of another. It's my privilege as Education Minister, as my dear friend Vice Chancellor said, after COVID-19 pandemic, this is the first physical convocation by this global institution, and let me candidly admit, I am coming to a private university, endowment-run university for the first time. Usually I am little bit reluctant to go to a private university, but with persuasion of Sethuramanji and Vaidya Subramaniamji, I came here. I think I did a good thing. I am happy. Congratulations to each one of you on your graduation today. Friends, Shastra has its own history also. Running a family is a challenge today. Running an institution for 38 years and organizing convocation for 36th year. I am told this is the 36th convocation. Congratulations to Shastra University officials, the patrons, the promoters, especially Sethuramanji. Your tireless effort as a philanthropist, as a responsible citizen of this civilization. I spent last 2 hours in this campus with a puja in Ganesh temple and begin this convocation with receiving the Saraswati symbol Bina. Shastra justified its name. Samukha Arts, Science, Technology and Research Academy. I am very happy to know Thirumalai Samudram is a small village. If you have determination, if you have willpower, the entire world will come to you, go in front of you. Shastra has proven, since last 4 decades, Shastra has proven this thing in the area of knowledge and education. And it's a matter of pride. Since last 20 years, you can say 21 years, from 2001, Shastra is a first deemed to be university in the state of Tamil Nadu. and with the recommendation of NEP, very soon it will be a full-fledged university. The tag of the university will be over. And I am happy. The Shastra has come up with 3 campuses, one in this same district, and another is coming up at Chennai. And with more programs and courses in area of humanities and liberal arts. Friends, science, technology, innovations are important for a living society. Human studies, liberal arts, culture, dance, music, all are equally important. I think for thousands of years, Tanjavur is famous for all these things in this civilization. And I am again reaffirming my commitment on this university's motto: think merit and think transparently. Today, being the Education Minister of country, I can proudly say I have not recommended anybody, Vice Chancellor, to get admitted. That shows your transparency, shows your merit character. Because today, we political leaders think if we get admitted, some of our constituents' kids in a prestigious university or institution, that is the call of the democracy. That is the new trend of democracy. But you stood solid, you stood firm on your willing, merit and transparency, and you prove yourself as an innovator, as a pioneer of this innovative method of education and knowledge imparting. Friends, we are in a very prestigious place. As I said, whoever knows little bit about this Indian civilization, the knowledge journey, the study, the academics, the repository will not complete without knowing Tamil Nadu, without knowing Tamil language, without knowing about Tanjavur. Tanjavur is the witness of civilizational journey. Just imagine, today there is IIT Madras, today there is Presidency College, today there is Shastra University. But in 1200 years ago, when craftsmen of this glorious state built Meenakshi temple, the temple at Tanjavur, the southern pattern temple structure of India, is one of the wonders. Our people who are not so articulate in history writing like Westerners. Otherwise, the temple architect, just see, if I cite, I belong to state of Odisha. Lot of similarities are there between Odisha's Kalingan temple architect and Tamil temple architect. In those days, there was no cement. There is no department of architect. There is no department of engineering. There is no department of civil engineering. There is no department of structural engineering. But by interlocking the stones, carving the beautiful arts, our ancestor built these magnificent architectural monuments in the seashore. I am emphasizing the seashore. That means lot of chemical technology knowledge were there in those days also. So this is the land where we produce, this is a culture of production of fertile human beings. Tamil Nadu is known for its fertile land. Tamil Nadu is seen with the rice bowl of the country. Tamil Nadu germinates lot of biodiversity. Tamil Nadu also germinates lot of knowledge diversity in area of art, in area of music, in area of culture, in area of engineering, in area of science, in area of innovation. I am fortunate to be part of this knowledge journey, and you all are. I am no more a student, but I learned lot of things today by roaming around the laboratories. I know lot of new things. I will tell in the latter part of my speech. What as a student I learned today, but I am little bit envious to my young friends. Because you are fortunate. You are fortunate to be part of this knowledge journey in Tamil Nadu. You are fortunate to be part of this knowledge journey in Tanjavur. And you are fortunate to be part of this knowledge journey in Shastra University with ever guidance of your faculty and teachers. Friends, what is the meaning of education? What is the meaning of knowledge? How do we as a social being, are we individuals? Are we all individuals? Are we only focused about our own career, about our parents? I know a lot of you will after some time get into your career, first thing you will do, you will go away from your mothers. Because you will say, my kid will be studying in a different place, they will not get proper study in the village. All are not like Mr. Seturamanji. You will all not be staying in your home. You will go to a separate place to avoid the guidance of your mother for your wife. This is the reality. But simultaneously we all are social beings. We all are living creatures. We all have our responsibility to society. Today we cannot live in isolation. We can't think about our Tanjavur is good, our Tamil Nadu is okay, our India is perfect, then we will be living in peace and quietly. No, it's no more. I can cite one example. We are a net energy importer. There is a dispute somewhere in the Europe between Ukraine and Russia. The energy price shoot up, it affects our day-to-day spending. We are living in a small global village. We have to prepare ourselves to take care of the global challenges also. No more our local challenge is aligned to the global challenge. No more global impacts are not coming to our area, not coming to our country, not coming to our state. If this is the background, friends, we have just completed 75 years of our independence from British rule. This year, 15 August was celebrated as Amrit Mahotsav. Mid of the Amrit Mahotsav, up to the next 23rd, 15 August, we will celebrate this Mahotsav. But this year we complete 75th year of independence. This is important period. Friends, what is the role of India? What India can do for society? What India can do for humanity? India has a contribution in different areas to the civilization. From this country, eminent scholars like Charaka, Susruta, Aryabhatta, Varahamihira, Bhaskaracharya, Brahmagupta, Chanakya, Madhavacharya, Panini, Patanjali, Nagarjuna, Gautama, Pingala, Shankaradeva, Maitri, Gargi, Thiruvalluvar, all such knowledgeous persons who all have contributed not only to this country, their preaching, their research, their writings, all has contributed to the global knowledge system. We are inheriting such a great civilization in the area of engineering, area of technology, area of healthcare. Today in this corona period, the Indian knowledge-based Siddha treatment process has proven this is the way. Our Indian medicine has proven. I asked a gentleman of Indian origin who is a head of a global company, is owning a global company. By inquiring his health, I asked, how do you do in these days, in those days? He said, I start with my day with taking a ball of turmeric and a black coffee. Why do you take turmeric? Because COVID is there. Friends, Indian food habit, Indian medicines, Indian innovations, and today with addition of yoga as an international concept, you go to any part of country, world, to any public park in the world, in any country you will find 5 persons are there, they are practicing yoga. That means the Indian knowledge system has enhanced its positive impact in all parts of the globe. That is the contribution of India's knowledge system to the global civilization. And this role is much more today to this challenging time. Because in India, we have a sanskar, we believe entire planet is our family. That's why we have recited Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We feel everybody is part of my kutumba, my family. Friends, with this background, Government of India has, as mentioned by my friend Vice Chancellor, National Education Policy has started rolling out by institutions like Shastra University, and you all are torch bearer of National Education Policy from 2020 onward. What is the basic feature of this NEP? What does this NEP justify? What does NEP prioritize as a philosophy? For me, NEP is not a document of 60 pages. NEP is a roadmap to create global citizen in the 21st century. It's a philosophical document. I have read that document for several times. Every time I go through that document, I find new things. That document says the teaching methodology, the learning outcome, the entire education system will be based on local language, on the mother tongue. So Prime Minister said, all Indian languages are national language. Tamil language is the national language. Telugu language is the national language. Marathi, Bengali, Punjabi, Hindi, Odia, Ahamiya, Kannada, Malayali, all are national language. The boy or girl will come out with successful results when if we understand the thing properly. How she will understand the thing properly? If he will have its clarity of the complex subject. How she or he will have a clarity on the complex subject? If she or he will understand in his mother tongue, in her mother tongue. The language he is familiar. The day he uttered the first sentence in the language. The day he listened the first word in the local language. If he or she is able to continue that journey up to a level when we come to schools, if you write in the same language, if you will read in the same language, then the critical thinking of the human being will emerge. I am not averse of any language. To knowing English is not bad thing. Knowing any other language is not bad thing. But knowing its own language is important thing. If I say the single most important feature of NEP is own language, local language. So, Government of India is recognizing all language as national language. NEP is promoting that. NEP is giving emphasis on employability. Our education system has created degree holder. Our education system has divided. There is a great missing link between skill and education. Person is educated but is not skilled. After your campus, you are again going to management training. What is the necessity of management training? If your academics, your teaching, your learning is so apt, you will directly go to the floor, you will directly go to the officer, you will directly go to the market, you will do your profession. NEP is giving a collaborative approach of education and skilling. We are teaching, and rightly Prime Minister in 15 August speech said, now time has come, we have to give emphasis on innovation. How innovation will be there? If research will be there. Research and innovation. You see, these are the two different words in the English language, but in Indian language, there is one language. This is Anusandhan. I saw that in your university building also. Anusandhan. So Prime Minister rightly said, Jai Anusandhan. This is the future of national education policy. Language, skilling, innovation, research, employability, and to create global citizenship, that mindset, sustainability, climate resilience, these are the part of NEP. Friends, you all are fortunate to be part of this NEP process. From 2020 onward, those who have passed, they all are fortunate because you are the product of NEP. Thus today, as I said, today you are entering to a important phase of your life. Everybody, when go to a important phase, if you are going to a temple, going to an auspicious place, or doing some anushthan in our own home, a rituals in our home, we place in front of a belief, object of belief. It may be a God, it may be Jesus Christ, it may be Allah, it may be a tree, it may be an object. But we place something. Henceforth, I will do this thing. Friends, this society has a great expectation from all of you. On this Convocation Day, your time of learning has over. Now your time of practice has started. You have completed your education journey. Now your applied education phase will come. You will be more, every day you will learn. That doesn't mean that studentship has ceased. Studentship will continue. One phase is over, another phase you are entering. You are entering the applied education part. You have to place something. As I said, lot of expectations are there from you, from society. If I mention, in our Indian rituals, when you getting married, in front of that Yajna Kunda with your wife, both of you are pledging, and you are pledging 7 things, Saptapati. Now we are entering in a new life. You have to do Saptapati. You have to, I am very impressed with Shastra universities, research works. I saw a 3D printing machine around 8 years ago in MIT. And today I am proud. In MIT, I saw a 3D printing. In those days, Professor Munish was head of the energy department. He was just relinquished his role as energy minister of Obama administration. He is a good friend of mine. As a student of his Dr. Munish, I went to see him. He advised me and he took me to show a saw a 3D printing machine. I saw first time in around 2016, I saw the 3D printing machine. I saw 3D printing machine, product was a material object. Later on, I see a 3D printing machine in German, in Munich, developing medicines, again a material object. Today, in Shastra University, I saw a 3D printing machine preparing my next 3-4 years with using 4D technology. We will be producing real-time kidney and heart replacement. This kind of research you all are doing here. Kindly continue that journey. So emerging technologies is should be your priority. You have learned something here, but you have to practice that in society. Number 2, India is very fast emerging in one area, that is digital India. By end of this year, India will be rolling out indigenous 5G technology. By end of 23, 6 lakhs villages of India will be connected with optical fiber for internet. That means there is a super highway built to each and every household of India. Around 30 crore households are in India. Out of that, 25 crore to 50 million households will be connected with not only super highways, they will be connected with airports, runways. Now, what kind of thing will be, what kind of personalized aeroplane or Mercedes vehicle will go to their house? I am giving one example. Today, if we calculate the digital payments of the global level, entire world, if we count the digital transaction of the entire world, out of that entire 100% transaction, 40% is coming from India. That means the common man, the street vendor, the village shopkeeper, the village consumer, all are now paying in the UPI kind of payment architecture. This is the domain area of India. Lot of transparency, lot of efficiency, lot of ease are coming out of that. India is going to leader of that area. You all have vaccinated. After taking vaccine, within few seconds there is a certificate in your mobile phone. Friends, it is nowhere in the world today. Not even in developed countries. India is leader of that area. India is going to leader of the digital world. You have learned a lot of things from this university. Kindly continue to practice that in the society. For emerging technology, for digital, you have to concentrate on research. I have mentioned certain viewpoints of my observation in this university. Research is a continuous thing. Research leads to innovation. Research follow for the new things. So for lifelong, the practice you have developed here as a research student, please continue to carry on that. Friends, unless until a sizable mass of the society create wealth. Today there is a mindset we will all, after passing out, I am not happy with this idea of placement. I am not happy with this idea of campus placement, personally. I am happy and I am very enthusiastic to see a model. If somebody is giving employment opportunity to at least 5 people through an entrepreneur model. Friends, India needs job creator, not job seeker. Be entrepreneur for lifelong. Take risk. Go to society. Put your education in application and create entrepreneur model. Please continue with that. What will be the outcome of that? Then for the first time, yesterday was Vishwakarma Puja. And it is fortunately nice coincidence, yesterday was the birthday of our beloved leader, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. On that day, Ministry of Skill Development, the department I am also in charge, we organized the first convocation for ITI students. You all are graduate and postgraduate students. For the first time in India, and Prime Minister came and addressed in the digital platform. On that occasion, I see a guy. I see a woman. She's a middle-aged woman from Maharashtra. She narrated her experience. What was that? She told, during pandemic, my husband lost the job. My family was at dilemma how to go ahead. I went to a skills center of Jana Shikshan Sanstha and I took training of 3 months to stitching jute bags. I started producing jute bags. I'm earning my livings and I'm giving employment to 10 women. Friends, this is the real practice of circular economy. You all have to practice your career, your education, your parents' investment, this prestigious global institution's contribution to your knowledge system is not for you. It is for society. You have to be innovator. You have to be technology savvy. You have to be entrepreneur. Through that, you will create new models which will be sustainable, which will be climate friendly. Because the industrial evolution 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, even in 4.0, there is a madness in the mask of growth and development. We are destroying the climate. We have to be innovative. I am happy I saw lot of such kind of model in your labs. Kindly continue to do that. But friends, what do you think? When you took the name in the beginning, when you talk about the architectural capacity of this society, it's not only architect, it's medicine, it's statecraft, it's diplomacy. India at one point in time was a superpower in navigation, the maritime economy. What do you mean by that? That means we have a strong entrepreneurial capacity. Lot of repository are there in our local language, in our folklore, in our old testaments, in old literatures. How to reappropriate all these things in the modern context. Friends, we have to focus on our Indian knowledge system. Thiruvalluvar was not knowing English like Shakespeare. Now our challenge, how to take Thiruvalluvar, the global thought leader, to the entire globe. That is our responsibility. This is the way how we can carry forward the Indian knowledge system. Friends, why we will do all such things? What is the importance of this period? Do you know? Just we have entered the Amrut Kal. By next 25 years, just imagine, because into the internet era, the entire world is a village. We can know each and every happenings of any part of country within few seconds. What is going to happen in next 25 years? Next 25 years is a very important period of entire humanity, entire globe, entire planet. I am confident. I see the confident thought leaders and innovators in front of me. You are going to lead next 25 years in this Amrut Kal. This is the 7th place you have to be taken. By all such character, with all this knowledge capacity, we have to carry forward, we have to take the responsibility of the entire globe, and we have to have the solution, and we will lead the globe. India is going to be the Vishwaguru. India is going to be the knowledge superpower through you, friends, through this young talent pools. India has its own advantage. The rightly Prime Minister said, by next 25 years, so I am taking 5 places. Today I am not mentioning about Pancha Prana announced by Prime Minister from the Red Fort. Think big, think about decolonization, think about our roots, think about our harmony, and take responsibility of society. Friends, let us pledge in this Amrit Kal of next 25 years. We have to pledge to take responsibility of society. This is our preaching. This is our responsibility as the great thinker of this state, the Tamil poet, Saint Thiruvalluvar said, how we can achieve this noble goal. Education is constant and everlasting pursuit of knowledge, and humility and virtue are two important aspects of the true knowledge. Friends, with humility and virtue, and education is constant and everlasting pursuit. Today, you have achieved that. As I said in the beginning, you have completed an important phase of your life. In Amrit Kal, we all have to be more responsible. We have to live for our family, we have to live for our community, we have to live for our society. We have to live for entire humanity. This is the nature of Indian society. Friends, let us come together, let us take place. We have the answer, we will lead. And I am confident, after a few years, when I will get a chance to meet you again in the different platform, you might be addressing from this stage. You might be addressing from the Red Fort. Who knows, the future Prime Minister is sitting somewhere in the back bench. Because unlike you, some years ago, some decades ago, the great person of this civilization, APJ Abdul Kalam, might have sat somewhere in the back bench. He led the civilization, he led the society, he made proud all of us. I am confident he will make proud all of us, the entire civilization, entire country. Thank you, friends.
Thank you so much, sir, for having trust in us, and we promise to make you proud. I now request our Chancellor to administer the pledge.
The candidates stand forward.
Do you sincerely promise and declare that if admitted in the degree of which you are the candidate and for which you have been recommended, you will, in your daily life and conversation, conduct, activities as members of the institution? Do you promise that to the utmost of your ability and all occasions you will support and promote the cause of morality and sound learning? Do you promise that you will, as far as in your life, apply and advance the social order and the well-being of your fulfillment? Do you promise that you will faithfully and carefully fulfill the duties of your profession, that you will, on all occasions, maintain the purity and reputation of the profession, and you will never deviate from the dharmic path of the honorable exercise, and making your knowledge subservient to unworthy ends? Let the candidates be now presented.
I now request our Vice Chancellor to read out the citation for award of honoris causa deals.
Citation for Professor Krishnaswamy Alladi. Professor Krishnaswamy Alladi is a major international figure in mathematics with extensive contributions to diverse areas of number theory. As a teenager, his mathematical talent was recognized by Paul Erdos, one of the great mathematicians of the 20th century. Professor Alladi's subsequent work with Erdos on the sum of the prime factors of integers is now widely known and cited Alladi duality. Introduced in Alladi's award-winning PhD thesis, is currently being investigated in algebraic number theory as well. In analytical number theory, he introduced a new approach to probabilistic number theory using a multiplicative generalization of the sieve method. He developed jointly with the celebrated mathematician Professor Basil Gordon the period of weighted words as well. More recently, he has developed a theory of weighted partition identities, which has been remarkably effective in the study of Schmidt-type theorems. The success of his work not only relies on his brilliant insights, but also on his great ability to explain his ideas and methods clearly and eloquently. Professor Alladi is much more than an outstanding researcher. He is also following the footsteps of his father, the great physicist, Professor Alladi Ramakrishnan, who founded in Chennai the major research institute, MathScience. Professor Alladi Ramakrishnan saw the importance of leadership in service to the scientific world and communicated this virtue to his son. Professor Krishnaswamy Alladi's innovative contributions to the larger mathematics community have been monumental. He is the founder and editor-in-chief of the Ramanujan Journal, which is devoted to all areas of mathematics influenced by Ramanujan. He is founder and editor-in-chief of the book series Development in Mathematics, which publishes research monographs and edited volumes in all areas of mathematics. While managing these major enterprises, he was for 10 years the very successful chairperson of the mathematics department of the University of Florida, USA. In 2011, the American Mathematical Society selected Professor Alladi as an inaugural fellow. Professor Alladi has organized numerous international conferences both in India and America. Of special interest to Shastra is his contributions to the Shastra Ramanujan Prize as the chairman of the awards committee ever since its inception in 2004. The significant contributions of Professor Alladi has a place in the Shastra Ramanujan Award as one of the most prestigious mathematics awards in the world. Shastra is proud to award Professor Krishnaswamy Alladi the degree of Doctor of Science in recognition of his far-reaching and outstanding contributions in the field of mathematics in general and number theory, analytical number theory, sieve methods, probabilistic number theory, Diophantine approximations, partitions, and Q hypergeometric identities in particular. This honoris causa also recognizes his devoted, dedicated, and exemplary leadership in the cause of maths education and above all for his faith in a value-based approach to life. I have the honor to present unto you Professor Krishnaswamy Alladi for the conferment of the degree of Doctor of Sciences, honoris causa, signed by the Vice Chancellor at Tanjavur on this day, 18th September 2022.
May I request Shri Dharmendra Pradhanji to award the DSc degree to Professor Alladi. May I please request Professor Krishnaswamy Alladi to share his thoughts with us. Please, sir.
Honorable Union Minister for Education, Sri Dharmendra Pradhan, Union Minister for State, Mr. Murugan, esteemed Chancellor of Shastra University, Professor Sethuraman, Vice Chancellor Vaidya Subramaniam, Dean Swaminathan, Professor Chandramouli, the Registrar, Deans of Shastra, faculty, and students, and friends in the audience. I am both honored and humbled to receive this Doctorate of Science honoris causa from Shastra University, a very unique and eminent academic institution which has accomplished so much in the sphere of education that I especially fostering the legacy of Srinivasa Ramanujan that I admire so much. Since I'm being recognized for accomplishments, I really must acknowledge the role played by peers and academic agencies that was crucial for my achievements, but I'll be quite brief. So I'd like to take this occasion to briefly express my gratitude to certain individuals and institutions. I started doing research on my own in my BSc class at Vivekananda College. Actually, it started at the end of my pre-university. And at that time, my father, the late Professor Alladi Ramakrishnan, who was the director of math science, he wanted to get the opinion of world's experts about the quality of my work. So he sent my work to various people around the world. One person in particular, Professor Paul Erdős, E-R-D-O-S, Paul Erdős, a Hungarian mathematician, one of the greatest mathematicians of the 20th century, he saw something in my work, and when he was in Calcutta to attend a conference, actually the centenary of Mahalanobis, he rerouted his trip from Calcutta to Sydney to visit Madras, mainly to meet me and discuss my research. It's an enormous gesture, and I'm grateful to him. And then he wrote a letter which enabled me to get the Chancellor's Fellowship at UCLA to work under Professor Strauss, who was the last student and assistant of Albert Einstein, but had moved later to number theory. So I owe to both Erdős and Strauss whatever I have done during this 2 decades initially, from the mid-70s to 1980s into the 90s. 1987 was the Ramanujan Centennial. It was an eye-opener to all of us. And it was at that time that I decided to shift the focus of my research from analytic number theory to the theory of partitions and Q hypergeometric series, where Ramanujan had made such spectacular contributions. But shifting an area of research is not easy. Luckily, I had tenure by then, so even if I couldn't publish for 3-4 years, it didn't matter. But it was facilitated by one of my former professors, Basil Gordon, who visited the University of Florida, and he and I started collaborating, and that was my initiation really into this area of partitions and Q series. But I wanted to get to the next higher level. Luckily, I was having a sabbatical. That means a year's leave that you earn after 6 years of service. And I went to the Pennsylvania State University to work with Professor George Andrews, one of the greatest, possibly the greatest expert in the area of partitions and the work of Ramanujan. So he has acted as a mentor for me, just as Professor Erdős was a mentor for me in the first part of my career. Now, my father had always advised me that in addition to doing fundamental research, one must do something for the profession and to educate the general public about great things happening in your field of activity. So starting from the Ramanujan Centennial, I started writing articles annually about Ramanujan and relating his work to other mathematicians, first in the Hindu and also in other journals. And this set of articles that I published since 1987 was collectively published as a book, and that was released at Shastra University during the Ramanujan 125 conference that was held in Kumbakonam. Now, the Ramanujan Centennial also inspired me to create what I consider as a permanent memorial for Ramanujan. Centennial occurs once, but I wanted to do something on a permanent basis. So that inspired me to create this Ramanujan journal, now published by Springer, at that time launched by Kluwer, which is devoted to all areas of mathematics influenced by Ramanujan. Now this journal, which started with 4 issues per year of 100 pages per issue, now publishes 12 issues per year of more than 250 pages per issue. This is no credit for me, it's a credit for Ramanujan. His mathematics has had such impact that the inflow of papers justifies this expansion. But for this journal to have become a major journal, I really owe a debt of gratitude to all the mathematicians who have served on the editorial board and who continue to serve on the editorial board. Without their help, this journal could not be run. To top it off, I would say something briefly about the Shastra Ramanujan Award. In 2003, I got a phone call from Dean Swaminathan, who was at that time a student, a graduate student in America, saying that there is going to be a conference in honor of Ramanujan here in connection with Srinivasa Ramanujan's home that was purchased by Shastra and being converted into a national museum. So he invited me to this conference and said, bring about 10 mathematicians and we'll take care of all of you and we'll have to have an international conference. That is how my association with Shastra began in the year 2003. At the end of that conference, the mathematicians and the members of Shastra said that we should organize these conferences annually and that I should be involved in this. That is how I have made it an annual pilgrimage to come to Kumbakonam every year in December and to be here for Ramanujan's birthday, December 27th. But something remarkable happened in 2004, the very next conference, when generously Shastra invited me to inaugurate that conference. But even more generous was that I was just, as I was walking up to the stage, Professor Sethuraman whispered into my ear and said, "Sir, I would like to set apart $10,000 annually for a good cause in the name of Ramanujan. You please tell us how it is to be used." I was taken aback by this and I said, "Sir, don't you want a committee? Don't you want to have some sort of a discussion of experts to decide how this is to be used?" He said, "No, there will be disagreement. We will never really come to a conclusion. You tell us what is to be done and we'll do it." That was the amount of faith he put in me. So, you all know that Indian functions are elaborate. There is a Puthiya being led during the conference, speeches given, all that is wonderful, but it allowed me 15 minutes to think about how to use this $10,000. If it was America, I wouldn't have these 15 minutes. So I got the 15 minutes. So at the end, I got up and said, let us create a prize in the name of Ramanujan, an annual $10,000 prize called the Shastra Ramanujan Award. But it must be given to a mathematician very young, not exceeding the age of 32, as a challenge as to how much this person has done in the same lifespan of Ramanujan. He said, this award will be given to younger mathematicians than the great awards like the Fields Medal. So we will be recognizing these mathematicians at a younger age. The Vice Chancellor endorsed this suggestion, said that the award will be given the very next year, the very first award will be given the next year. Then he turned towards me and said, please be the chair of the Shastra Ramanujan Prize Committee. So that's how, since 2005, I have been the chair, but it's all due to the generosity of Shastra University and the Vice Chancellor. So I vote for them. As you know, this prize has become one of the most prestigious and coveted prizes in the world. And the testimony that we are choosing the right people is that the Shastra Prize winners are going on to win prizes with a hallowed tradition, such as the Fields Medal, as mentioned by our Vice Chancellor, Vaidya Subramanian. Finally, I must acknowledge the support given all through by the University of Florida that provided me a conducive atmosphere to conduct my research and generously allowed me leave on my international travels to conferences and also to Shastra University. Not only that, they gave me an opportunity to serve as chair for 10 years when I was able to introduce several new programs, but also it's not just a question of introducing the program, it came with the support of the university. So I have to be thankful to the university. With regard to my own work in number theory, I have to thank two of my Florida colleagues, Professors Frank Garvin and Alexander Berkovich. Professor Garvin has also organized conferences with me, and Professor Berkovich has been a major research collaborator. My special thanks to Mathura, who is here, my wife, my mother, and my family, because much of what I did involved international travel out of my house for great lengths of time. And of course, if my father were alive today, he would be so happy because he was my strongest academic supporter. conclude by thanking the management.
Make a reference to your grandfather also.
Yeah. Well, my grandfather was Saralali Krishnaswamy Iyer, who was on the drafting committee of the Indian Constitution. Anyway, I conclude by thanking the management, faculty, the staff, and students of Shastra for this honorous step. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for being an inspiration, and we are sure that your predecessors and successors are immensely proud of you. May I now request our Vice Chancellor once again to read out the citation for award of honoris causa D.Litt.
सारस्वत सुधाकरः वाचस्पतिः पद्मश्री इत्यादिभिः अनेकाभिः विस्ताविधिभिः भूषिताः आचार्यवर्याः श्रीमन्तः चमो कृष्णशास्त्रीवर्याः कर्णाटकस्य मंगलूर नगरे समीपे विद्यमाने केदराग्रामे जनिप्राप्य तिरुपतस्थे राष्ट्रीय संस्कृत विश्वविद्यालये संस्कृत आधीतवन्तः। एतर्हि आचार्याः भारत सर्वकारस्य शिक्षा मन्त्रालयाधीनायाः भारतीय भाषा प्रचार समिते अध्यक्षत्वं, भारत सर्वकारस्य शिक्षा मन्त्रालयाधीनायाः भारतीय ज्ञान परम्परा विभागस्य सदस्यता, संस्कृत संवर्धन प्रतिष्ठानम् इति प्रमुख संस्कृत संस्थानस्य न्यासीय सचिवत्वम् इत्यादीनि नैकानि प्रभावात्मकानि पदानि समलं कुर्वन्ति। संस्कृत भाषा सामान्य जनानां भाषा भवेत्, भारतीय ज्ञान परम्परायाः पुनर्जीवनं भवेत् इत्यादि महत् उद्देशपूर्वकम् आभारतं तथा अमेरिका, कनाडा, इंग्लैंड, ऑस्ट्रेलिया इति आविश्वतं प्रसृतस्य संस्कृत भारती इति प्रमुख संविधानस्य संस्थापक सदस्याः भवन्ति एता आचार्याः। अपि च 1981 तमे संवत्सरे समारब्धस्य संस्कृतेन संस्कृत शिक्षणम् इति आन्दोलनस्य विद्यायकाः अति एत भवन्ति। संस्कृत भाषा लोकप्रिय भाषा भवेत् इति विषये एतेषां व्यहुरचन नैपुण्यं कार्यक्रमोपस्थापनं च सर्वतः अप्रतिरूपं विद्यते। वैश्विकः संस्कृत स्वयंसेवकानां सन्दः एभिः मान्यवरैः प्रतिष्ठापतिः येन विदेशेभ्यः भारतस्य प्रतिमा विस्तारिता भवति। तत्र भवद्भिः आचार्यः सरल संभाषण पद्धितः इति काचन नव शिक्षण पद्धतिः संस्कृताय प्रकल्पिता। तद्वारा उपसहस्रं शिक्षकाः प्रशिक्षिताः भवन्ति। 1983 तमे संवत्सरे भारतीय संसत् सदस्येभ्यः संभाषणां संस्कृतवर्गान् निरवक्षित। येभिः आचार्यप्रवरैः 14 पुस्तकानि, शताधिकानि समसामयिक विषयात्मकानि पत्राणि च विरचितानि भवन्ति। एतैः 10 भारतीय भाषासु संस्कृत पत्राचार पाठ्यक्रमः USA, कनाडा देशेषु SAFL संस्कृत as foreign language इति पाठ्यक्रमश्च उपस्थापितः। समसामयिक विशेषयेषु पुस्तकः प्रकाशनाय सरस्वती सेवा योजना इति परिकल्पना अपि अमीभिः समारब्धा। 1984 तमे संवत्सरे काशी पंडित परिषदा शास्त्रिनवर्याः सारस्वत सुधाकरः इति पुरस्कृताः। 2017 तमे संवत्सरे भारतीय सर्वकारेण पद्मश्री इति विश्रेदन भूषिताः। 2019 समे संवत्सरे वाराणसीस्थेन संपूर्णानंद संस्कृत विश्वविद्यालयेन वाचस्पति इति सम्मानार्थेन विस्तृतेन च पुरस्कृताः भवन्ति। अयिमो मान्याः भवतां संस्कृत भारतीय संस्कृति सेवा निर्वहन पटुतां भारतीय भाषा विकसन दुरंतरां च समविलक्षय प्रशंसनीयात्मक गभीर भावनया संस्कृत क्षेत्रे समुत्कृष्ट सेवायै शास्त्रा विश्वविद्यालय सम्मानं रूपेण तत्र भवन्तः श्री चामुकृष्ण शास्त्रीवर्याः विद्यावाचस्पति डॉक्टर ऑफ लेटर्स ऑनरस कासा इति उपाधिना सम्मान्यन्ते इति वयं अमन्दमानन्दं गौरवभावं वर्ष अनुभवामः। Professor S. Vaidya Subramanian signed on 18/9/2022 at Tanjavur.
I request Shri Dharmendra Pradhanji to award the D.Litt degree. I request Shri Chamu Krishna Shastriji to share his thoughts with us, please.
आदरणीय श्री धर्मेंद्र प्रधान महोदय, मान्यवर श्री सेतुरामन महोदय, मान्यवर वैद्यनाथ महोदय, अल्लाडी कृष्णस्वामी महोदय, मान्य मुरुगन महोदय, सभायाम् उपस्थिताः प्राध्यापकाः, छात्राः, अहं कृतज्ञः अस्मि, विनीतः अस्मि एतेन उपाधिदानेन। चमू कृष्णशास्त्री एकः निमित्तमात्रं जनः। संस्कृत प्रचार कार्ये, भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा उत्थान कार्ये चमू कृष्णशास्त्री एकम् उपकरणं। समाज सेवार्थं, भारत सेवां कर्तुं, ज्ञान सेवां कर्तुं अवसरः प्राप्तः। व्यक्तिः देहः नश्वरः, देशः शाश्वतः। नश्वरः देहः यदा शाश्वताय देशाय समर्पितः भवति तदा देहः अपि सार्थकः भवति। मम संस्कृत भविष्यं मम हस्ते अस्ति, मम भविष्यं संस्कृत हस्ते अस्ति इति स्वस्मै स्वल्पं समाजाय सर्वस्वम् इति ज्येष्ठानां शिक्षणेन निमित्तमात्रभूतः कृष्णशास्त्री संस्कृत सेवां कृतवान्। अतः अद्य शास्त्र विश्वविद्यालयेन यत् डीलिट् विद्यावाचस्पति इति उपाधिः प्रदत्ता तत् चमू कृष्णशास्त्री कृते नास्ति। संस्कृताय, संस्कृत परंपरार्थं, संस्कृत ज्ञान परंपरा निमित्त दान सम्मानम् इति अहं चिन्तयामि। तदर्थं समग्र संस्कृत लोक परतः शास्त्र विश्वविद्यालयस्य अहं धन्यवादं समर्पयामि। केवलम् अंशद्वयं वदामि। शास्त्र विश्वविद्यालयः भारते केवलं न विश्वे, संपूर्ण विश्वे अपूर्वः। अत्र केवलम् आधुनिक विद्या शिक्षणं न, शास्त्र विश्वविद्यालये केवलम् आधुनिक शिक्षणं न, प्राचीन भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा शिक्षणम् अपि अस्ति ऐच्छिक विषय रूपेण। 16 भारतीय विद्याः अत्र ऐच्छिक रूपेण अस्ति। NEP 2020 मध्ये यत् IKS इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम इंटेग्रेशन करणीयमिति वदति किल, तदत्र ऑलरेडी इंटेग्रेटेड अस्ति शास्त्र विश्वविद्यालये। अतः शास्त्र विश्वविद्यालयः, शास्त्र इति नाम अस्ति किल, सार्थकं नाम इति एकः विषयः। द्वितीयः विषयः यत् अहम् अद्य पर्यन्तं संस्कृत प्रचारकार्यं कृतवान्। वर्तमानकाले मान्य धर्मेन्द्र प्रधान महोदयस्य भारतीय भाषा प्रेम कारणतः एक भारतीय भाषा समितिः इति रचिता। तत् भारतीय भाषा समिति द्वारा एकः कार्यक्रमः, बहु कार्यक्रमाः सन्ति, एकः कार्यक्रमः हायर एजुकेशन अपि सर्व भारतीय भाषा माध्यमेन भवेत्। तदर्थं टेक्स्ट बुक अपि, मेटीरियल, स्टडी मेटीरियल, रेफरेंस बुक्स अपि भारतीय भाषा माध्यमेन भवेत्। तदर्थं मान्य वाइस चांसलर महोदयः वैद्य सुब्रह्मण्यम महोदयः स्वागत भाषणे घोषणां कृतवान्। 75 बुक्स of higher education textbooks in Tamil language iti Shastra University karoti। सम्पूर्ण भारतस्य सर्व विश्वविद्यालयानां कृते शास्त्र यूनिवर्सिटी आदर्शम् उपस्थापयति। प्रथम कार्यक्रमः एक विश्वविद्यालयः 75 हायर एजुकेशन टेक्स्ट बुक्स इन तमिल लैंग्वेज प्रकाशनं करोति इति पुनः अभिनन्दनं करोमि, पुनः धन्यवादं समर्पयामि। नमो नमः।
धन्यवाद श्री चमकृष्ण शास्त्री महोदय। And you teach us how to be humble despite your immense stalwartness. May I now request Professor R. Sethuraman, Chancellor Sir, to present the candidates. May I now request the deans of the respective schools to present the candidates, starting with Dean Research.
Mr. Rodendra, I present and the following candidates in Doctor of Philosophy who have been certified after examination duly qualified to receive the degree. Amritakar, Adityan Pond, Rajalakshmi, D. Simran Sinsundar, Harikaran, Valarmati, Mohammad Yam, S. Pradeepa, P. Karthik, Sivaraman R, Sankaralingam L. Revati K. M. Mubarak Ali. B. Aravind. Yes, Mohammed Gauss. J. Raja Mohan. N. Sivaramakrishnan. Muthu Meenakshi B. Nandu V. Namboothri. S. Ramesh. Sundarvalli B. P. Aksayari. Muthukumaran G. Arati Krishna. Veena Narayanan. Manoj Kumar M. Pedavarapu Srikari. Can Senthil Selvan. Pavitra S. R.C. Rohit. Pragadish S.A. N. Mohan Raj. P. S. Shweta. Ashik Mani S. Tirupati K. Jaykumar C. Priyanka S. K. Ponrasu. A. Kamal Chairman. Sujitra Balasubramanian. S. Craig. R. Santi. S. Nadarajan. R. Sandhya Devi. M. K. Charan Prabhu. B. J. Bhaskar. B. Gayatri. Soumya R. Sakana B. Srija Kumari Danya. Manikandan Chindaswamy. And Manjula K. Thank you.
లాస్ట్ రావాలి పేరు అట్లా నాకు పడ్డా
Orator, I present unto you the following candidates in School of Chemical and Biotechnology who have been certified after examination to be duly qualified to receive the degree.
బీటెక్
Nikita, Mahalakshmi S,
బీటెక్
Srimati U, Aishwarya R, Aishwarya VG, Geeta Shalini P,
బయోటెక్ అందరూ అమ్మాయి రాస్తారు
Arjun SV, Purnima B, Priyadarshini TS, Kalayarasi, Niranjan Srinivasan,
ఇది హాస్టల్ ఇస్తున్నాను వాడాలి
Priyadarshini, Shashank R,
అమ్మాయి ట్రేడర్స్
Aishwarya V, Vijayalakshmi AB, Yatindra Pravananthi MN, Parvati V,
అందులో 4 టైమ్స్ యాక్టివిటీలో
Trilochana M, Sutiwani S, Sana Samreen Syed, Teja Sri, Vignesh LR. Thank you, sir.
అప్పుడు పోవాలి
I now request the Dean School of Civil Engineering.
Mr. Director, I present to you the following candidates of School of Civil Engineering who have been certified after examination to be duly qualified to receive the degree. Philip Raj S.
సివిల్లో ఫస్ట్ వచ్చి గ్రేట్ అవన్నీ అడుగుతాం గుర్తు పెట్టుకోండి
Geeta Kumari V. Mahalakshmi S. Anwala City Adi Venkata Lakshmi Sruthi.
నేను తప్పే చదువుతున్నాను
Katiga Reddy Hema Shruti.
I call upon Dean School of Electrical and Electronics Engineering.
Mr. Orator, I present to you the following candidates in School of Electrical and Electronics Engineering.
Our apologies. I request Dean School of Computing.
కూర్చో కూర్చో
have been certified after examination to be duly qualified to receive the degree. Sharmati R. Vignesh N. Shrikari Y. Varsha KR.
అంత హాస్టల్
Nishkala G. Ashwat S. Shubha B. Aravind A. Nitish Balaji KK. Aruna Devi GG. Abhimina A. Adiraj H. Yelavarti Supriya. Shakti Dharan S. Bellamkonda Chandrasekhar. Ande Sai Lagari. Srinivas V. Panda Sai Shankara Keshavana. Muppa Chinmay Ram Naga Sai Prasad. Devi Reddy Brinda. Valliyappan SM. Ananda Lakshmi R. Abhishek Sriram G. Anki Reddy Palli Nagasinduri. Beti Naga Bhargavi. Chris Rogan M. Jinka Sai Monica. Vempati Krishna Sashank. Bogula Sai Nega Reddy. Vishwanath B. Bimini Sai Sri. Yedlapalli Pramod. Pragata Bharat Raj. Swarna Sakiti Y. Anchana M. Bharanika G. Kavya V. Kamalesh BS. Madhura S. Srividya V. Gayatri S. Ritika A. And Jayaprada M. Thank you, sir.
May I call upon stage Dean, School of Electrical and Electronics Engineering.
Mr. Orator, I present unto you the following candidates in School of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Vishal Kaushik S. Sridharan Priyadarshan. Nilani S. Rakul Venkatesan. Geetanjali S. Puriti Yajeshwani. Meghanathan Sabarish S. Mukta Chaudhary. Monica J. Kokkara Priyadarshini. Bonagiri Veera Venkata Surya Lakshmi. Thiruvaru Sai Chandra. Surya Hariteja, Priyanka Ji, Mohana Chai Chandra, Akilami, Anirari Banuja, Ilakya AS, Sakamuri Lokesh, Kota Deepika, Sesa Shah Kashif, Usala Karthik, Kaushik L, Vellamkonda Manoj Sai, Tumala Ramohan Reddy, Adappa Venkata Naga Venkata Surya Sai, Pavitra P, Kiran Teja Reddy, please. Thank you.
I call upon Dean, School of Mechanical Engineering.
Mr. Orator, I present unto you the following candidates in School of Mechanical Engineering. Pranav DS, Sai Manikanta, Harish, Krishnan, Aditya Venkata Ishwar, Raghunath, Ashwin Kumar, Karthik M,
ఫోటో తీసుకుంటాడు
Pavan Kumar, Venkat Srinivas, and Tyagarajan Krishna Kumar.
I now request Dean, School of Science, Arts, Science, Humanities and Education.
Mr. Orator, I present unto you the following candidates in the School of Arts, Sciences, Humanities and Education. Reshma A, Saundarya G, Niraymati CP, Bhumika Priyadarshini, Sri Vaishnavi, Shreya Mukkumar, Siddharth, Amrita Lakshmi, Arunodev G, Kirtika S, Sindhuja R, Sangeeta B, Vignesh Kumar PR, Deepa B, Abhiravi S, Satya P, Ilakya R, Parani Bharati K,
G, Shivani B, Gurudarshini B, Sindhuja B, Sindhuja S, Abhinami P, Sandhya B, Vidyashri S,
தண்ணி கேமரா வாங்கிக்கலாம்
Sivashandari R,
தண்ணி கேமரா வாங்கிக்கலாம் ப்ளே பண்ணிக்கலாம் தண்ணி கேமரா வாங்கிக்கலாம்
Kartika L,
ஆமாம்
Darshan CS, Shweta S, Nivedita R, Subhashini R, Shakti Soumya J, Ranjana AV, Bhuvaneshwari B, Sri Ranjani R, Saranya R,
கஜர் கேமரா கஜர் கப்பனி கேமரா இல்லை
Yogeshwari M,
வந்துட்டு
Sarvapriya A,
லைஃப் யூடியூப்ல
Kausalya P, Veeramani R, Varsha Kumari C, Vrinda D, Avinaya R, Venkatesh N, Varshini YS, Deenacharya B, Dhanavidya R, Darshini M, Anusha K, Harshini G,